Here we are. Primal Goddess Activation Challenge. I'm so excited. Thank you for being here with me. It makes it way more fun.
Yeah.
All right, let me check that we got sound over here. Here we are. Good, we got sound. I see the live, so this is great. If you're joining us, please say hi in the chat. You can do an emoji or just be like, hey, ladies, whatever you want to say. That way we know you're here. And then if you want to ask us questions or interact, that is more. It's always better, more better. So, yes, please feel free to ask us anything as we're sharing about this challenge and why we're doing it and so on and so forth. As most of you know, I'm a mentor and coach. I guide women into their potential as embodied, powerful women through awakened sexuality, dynamic, and empowered relationship dynamics, and honoring the divine feminine. So, this pretty much means tapping into your sexual magic, healing, increasing psychic gifts like intuition and clarity, and evolving all your relationships in your life. So, pretty much being a goddess. And my method is coaching, energy work, ceremony, wisdom practices, pretty much all the rituals and things that have helped me on this journey. So, this is really exciting. We plan to do this primal goddess activation challenge during the Equinox portal. So this is this turning of the wheel, Maven, as pagans would call it, or sometimes people say Mabon, but I'm pretty sure it's Maven. But yeah, it's very appropriate and auspicious for us to be embracing this now. So I'm pretty excited about that. And Becky and I were just chatting right before we went live about this challenge and like, what does it really mean to be a primal, like activated in your primal energy? So we were just chatting about that, and I'll let you jump in if there's anything you want to add to that little intro.
Well, when we first started, when Neve first asked me to do this challenge, I think it was just kind of a question of what does primal mean? And I ended up Googling it just because I was like, all right, what is primal behavior or primal habits? And basically it's if you take language away, like all the other senses, being more in touch with your senses and getting out of the monkey mind and being more in your body and in your, you know, all your senses besides your mental thinking mind.
Mm, I love that. And it's I notice the slower I go and the more centered I am and the more I drop into beingness, right, into a meditative state, the more aware I am of all the senses, right? So it's really an interesting correlation with embodiment and this awakening journey. This it is also just naturally a draw towards the primal. What is that? So I know for me, I definitely feel like I act more primal than I used to. Like before, I was like, oh, I am a lady in society, right? Like I should do my hair, and now I'm just like a little bit crazier, and I feel like it gives me permission to really be more of myself by embracing this energy. So, yeah.
Yeah, that makes me think of like camping or something where you just don't have mirrors and you don't have like all the modern luxuries that we have today. So you might not care if you're wearing a bra or if you brushed your hair, or, you're just a little more wild when you're camping.
Yeah, and yeah, it's like it's I noticed that when I'm camping, then when I get home I like usually have like a zit somewhere because I wasn't looking at the mirror or like couldn't see anything, so I was just in it. um and I also like peeing on the ground. That's pretty primal. uh
Yeah,
like,
digging a hole.
yeah,
Got
and squatting. Well, I don't know about the whole thing, but but you're right. Camping is a great way, I think, to connect with primal energy because you're surrounded by nature. And that's like the main, goal of this challenge really is connecting with your own nature and with the elements and the nature outside of you. So I know for me, we were chatting about this as well right before we started, but it's an automated habit now for if I feel anxiety to go outside in nature. Like this is just has become automated. So when I feel like overwhelmed or like my consciousness is sort of stuck, like I can't seem to move forward, I have the mental loops or even like addictive thought patterns, that's when I'm like, oh, I am starting to feel anxious. Like I'm starting to feel like stress in my body. And it's just natural if I'm able to. Like that's my number one go to thing is to go outside. And I know that's something that you do often as well.
Yeah, well, I have two dogs. So if you have pets that you need to get out, that makes it a lot easier because they need to go for those walks. And uh, so I connect with nature regularly through being outside with my dogs.
Yeah, and that has helped your anxiety.
Oh, yeah. I like, there's a noticeable difference almost every day after I take them for a walk.
Like you can feel your nervous system just feels more centered.
Yeah, just getting, hearing the sounds, whatever that might be, and just tuning into my senses in the outdoors. So smells, sounds. There have been like a lot of ripe apples where I take the dog. So I've been just eating apples that I find, which is really interesting to experience, just eating things in nature like that.
Yeah, it reminds me of my mushroom foraging from like a week ago. It was so fun. Did you know? Okay, so I'm going to share this. I don't know if I shared this with you, but to test out a mushroom, like if it's one that you think you can eat, you like taste a little bit of it, and you rub it on your lips, and then you taste a little bit of it, you chew it, and then you spit it out, and you wait 30 seconds. And if it stings your mouth, you don't eat it. Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either, but I feel like that's a huge life hack.
That's not risky to do that.
Well, I mean, you should have a guide, and it should be a mushroom that you believe is edible. Um, before you're like testing it, it's just like the last test. Like you've
Yeah.
already identified it, but just to make sure before you feed it to
Well,
your.
I kind of wonder now if you can do that with other plants.
I mean, some are just bitter anyway, but this is like you're looking for like spicy or like hot.
Oh, that's what signifies that it's not edible.
Right. If it's one that you think is edible. So I don't know. It's a whole world I'm just diving into. But and I felt so grounded being I think we walked 4 miles when we were mushroom foraging, and it was nice because we're at the top of the mountain and I enjoyed the ferns and like the smells of the pine. And I think they're up there. There's well, I smelled the pine, smelled all the mushrooms. That was very earthy. So yeah, I think it's really important to tap into senses to increase the anti-anxiety medicine of nature. And anxiety medicine, like medication, doesn't actually really do anything. It's much better. Like a lot of people are on anxiety medication, so I just want to say this because I've done a lot of research and it really doesn't do much at all. Like not as much as mindfulness or going in nature or actually starting to dig and self-reflect to what's more at the root of anxiety. So I just want to throw that out there because it's I think it's pretty primal to like self-reflect and actually dig deeper and like be like, okay, what are these feelings? What is this natural urge? Like what am I running from? Or like what's scaring me? So I think that's important. Also, like self talk, and I think depression. Being in nature is such a great healing for all of these. So this is one reason why we want to do this challenge is to help invite you guys to get into nature. It's really easy to get stuck on our devices and on the screens. Like they're very sticky. They're meant to be addictive, especially all the social medias and stuff. So this is the challenge, is to get out because nature heals.
I also feel like now at this point in evolution, we are so overstimulated. by having all the screens, and it's a conscious lifestyle to get away from that and drop into the earth energy.
Yeah. I really appreciate that you brought that up because we are totally overstimulated. You know, Ayurveda says everybody has a vata imbalance right now, and vata is like too much coming at you, right? So sound, like the radio or podcasts, and then music, and then you're watching this thing on your screen, and then it's just a constant bombardment, and you lose your spirit. Like you do lose your connection with yourself, and that is just something that's really tragic right now. So I'm really glad you brought that up. And also, like Gaia, our planet, is like constantly, she's giving to us so much in so many ways, and it's so heart wrenching what's happening to her. And obviously, she's speaking up about it. If you pay any attention to any disasters, they're kind of constantly happening. And so this is like where we take that, be the change you want to see with ourselves, and are like, okay, what can we do to connect with the planet and with her energy more, and recycle or reuse or reduce, or what is the thing I can do? Compost, can I compost, and that kind of stuff. So I feel like that all kind of goes in with this whole activation at a deeper level.
Yeah, it's more of a conscious, we're making a conscious effort to connect.
Totally. And that we actually, it's like everything, like when we give, we can receive so much more. And then receiving is also a skill that we have to learn, especially as modern women. So today, day one of the activation is to be a nature creatrix, like collect things, nature things, and create. So I put this in the description of the video so you can look at it as well. Oh, and let me just double check. There's no one asking us any questions. Okay, cool. Just want to make sure, checking the chat here.
Say hi if you're here.
Yeah, please, if you watch this later, do hashtag replay and then, yeah, say hi, or you can post any comments or questions in the chat. I would love to hear from other goddesses how nature nurtures you, like how you go out in nature, or what's your daily practice around it, or weekly practice. I know for me, my weekly practice is dancing at the park with my bare feet. So that feels very grounding because it's 90 minutes of bare feet on the earth. And most of where I live is desert, so it's nice that there's grass at the park. Wouldn't want to step on a snake. Whoops. Okay, so build a fairy home. That could be the challenge for today because you collect different things and build fairy homes. I'll post a bunch of pictures of fairy homes that I found on the mountain, at the top of the mountain, on Mount Lemon, on the trail where we did our mushroom foraging. I think there was like 8 different homes. Super cute. So hopefully that will be inspiring. But you don't have to do that. You could go camping. That definitely would work. That just came up. Doing an equinox altar, this is what I would really invite you to do. And you could pick any challenge, just whatever is going to nurture your soul. But this is like, if you have an altar already, maybe adding some things with the fall season to the altar, like apples. Apples are in season, right? So putting it, one of those apples that when you're on your walk, take it and bring it home, put it on your altar. That could be your challenge. Like, all right, done, check, I've connected. If you want to check it, adding other items to like the altar you already have, like I said, create one. Or I did a meditation about breathing as the goddess, letting the goddess as your own body meditation from Sally Kempton's book, which is what the Goddess Book Club is going through. So we're about to dive in deep with these yay with these different goddesses. And yeah, this meditation is to recognize that Shakti, in the form of the life force, is breathing us. So that's very cool if you sit and just feel that. If you close your eyes right now and breathe, you can feel it probably. And then tuning into the elements of the body as particles of Shakti. So recognizing that our bodies and the elements of the physical world are made of the same stuff. And recognizing our thoughts and feelings as goddess energies. Okay. And then allowing ourselves to be breathed by the goddess. And this is my invitation during this whole challenge, is to breathe as the goddess. Like if you breathe as the goddess, you actually take some time to just breathe and like let the goddess breathe as you. You will have completed this challenge, because that is totally, you can connect with all the frequencies, not just a primal one. However, I think it would be fun to breathe as the goddess while you're collecting things from nature, right? For your altar or for your fairy home or whatever you want to do with it. So yeah, I'm really stoked because I've been breathing as the goddess all week, and like my life is slowly shifting and changing and getting more magical. And I'm like, what is this energy? So amazing. So yeah, I don't know if you have any comments on any of that, but
Yeah, it just makes me think about, I don't know, when you did that meditation, I watched it and did it afterwards, and it makes me think about getting out of this ego state when you're breathing as a goddess, because
Mhm.
it's like you're allowing this divine energy to come through you, and it just automatically separates you from your mental ego state, or me. And
Yeah,
I was going to say doing it outside would be more impactful. I would, if you struggle with, or if you want to bring it into the challenge, because I think it will automatically connect you with the sky and the earth and the birds, or what, the wind, or whatever is going on outside.
yeah, totally. I love that you shared that because it is like an instant release of the ego, or at least you can witness it versus being it. So that is definitely the gift for sure of the meditation. So, like I said, if you do the meditation, then that works too. You could just do the meditation for 3 days and see what happens. I'm sure it will be a magical activation for you. So we'll be back tomorrow live to chat. If anyone wants to find out more about the book club, you can book a call with me or send me a message. And yeah, I'll talk to you about it. It's pretty magical. I'm so stoked. So we're going through all these different goddesses, and we start with Durga next week. And we're going into a cleanse. So yeah, super stoked.
So yeah, and if you guys do any of the challenges, feel free to share with us in the group.
Yeah, please do, because that makes it way more fun. And I'll share some fairy homes, and yeah, be in the group pretty actively for the next few days. So, all right.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.